Hi, it's me, Stitches. Willkommen, bienvenue, and welcome back to my channel where we have a special guest here, my friend Shinky, to draw this week's episode of Genderween. So, who is it going to be? We'll find out. So who is it? Oh, Gadget. So we are doing Gadget. So, you know what that means. Let's go do the research. Let's go. Come on. So in reality, my friend and I, we just hung out and did my hair. So this technically is the next day, but I'm still counting it as day one. So let's continue. Okay, let's go ahead and do the research. We are doing Gadget Rescue Rangers. I think I spelled that wrong, but okay, so Gadget. She is wearing a purple jumpsuit with a darker purple belt and has goggles on, barefoot. It's okay, so this is a good image of Miss Gadget. I don't have a wig that color, but I do have a blonde wig. I do have a pattern that I developed a couple years ago for mouse ears, because I was going to do Radican from Great Mouse Detective, and I also have his tail already, so I guess let's go. Okay. Skirt. Jumpsuits. Okay, so mood.com has jumpsuits, and this is a free download that you can basically just download this pattern, print it off, and start sewing. So I'll go ahead and link down below where you can find this pattern, and also where you can find up to 300 free patterns. So this is a good resource for anybody who's cosplaying or needs an outfit done really quickly. They also show that the fabric that they're using for this is right here and how much it is per yard, which I'm not going to be paying that much because I'm going to be using bed sheets. So I'll go ahead and print this pattern off, and then I'll start sticking it together, and let's go ahead and go shopping through the closet and see what we can find. So, okay, so we can always go ahead and go through our closet first. Now, I already pulled the stuff, so I wouldn't waste any time. Here is Radican's tail that I used for a cosplay that was going to get worn, but actually never did get worn. So here's Radican's tail and the goggles, which I can go ahead and paint blue to match her costume. I wonder if I can pop out these lenses so I can just spray paint it and then pop the lenses back in. If not, I'll just go ahead and tape off and then spray paint them. So go to day 2. We'll see what we can find at thrift stores. So we'll see you then. Morning, y'all. So I'm not presentable for camera, but it is start of a new day, and I am going to make another cup of coffee and get ready to go to the thrift shop with Miss B and Miss Donna and see if I can find some purple bed sheets. If not, I'll try to look for some white bed sheets and then run over to Joann's and get some lavender dye. So wish me luck that I find the bed sheets and I don't have to basically spend more time and more effort to dye some fabric just to make a jumpsuit. And yeah, I also need to pick up some paper because I ran out of paper printing the pattern. So that's another thing I gotta do. But luckily Office Depot or Office Max, Office something or other is right next to the thrift store. So yay. Coffee first, like always. No luck except for this one sheet that I found at the thrift store today. I did find a Geegaw costume, and I did find another blanket that I may use for something else, but I like it. And so I just picked up a bottle of synthetic purple dye, and I'll just dye 2 white sheets, or I gotta see if this is enough first. If this is enough, then I don't need to dye. But if it's not enough, after I take the elastic out, then I'm gonna have to dye a sheet. So, yay. I also got some headbands to put the ears on. I'm gonna use this one. And I got a fur hat that I'm going to use for the fur of the ears. So, that should work perfectly for Gadget. Well, worst case scenario, I put in a zipper and the zipper seems to be dying. So we'll go ahead and try that. And this is really hot because I put more hot boiling water into it. I'll keep that going for a couple hours. So I got the pattern. This is finally printed from Mood Patterns. This is for the jumpsuit. Now I just got to tape it all together and see if my sheet, after I cut off all the elastic, is of the right size. So let's go ahead and get this thing taped together. So I followed the instructions from Mood by taping all the sections together. They were a little bit off, but I think that was my printer, but pretty much self-explanatory. And that's the full pattern. Now I just gotta figure out what size I am and then cut out the appropriate pieces, and then I can put it on the fabric and see how much I have. Yay, I'll be doing that tonight. So I think this is gonna work because those need to be 2, those need to be 2. I can get the collar out of this section right there. It's supposed to be on the fold. Those are 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then this one is a 1. So once I cut it, I'll open it up and do 1 and 1, and then these will be in the darker purple, as this is the waistband and the tab that is on the waistband and the inside of the pocket that you're not going to see. This is the outside of the pocket, which also connects to the pants, so you're going to see that much of it. So this one can be in the dark purple. So I think this is gonna work. I'm gonna start pinning and start cutting. So it's been a few days. I threw my back out. We had a little bit of an incident here to where we had some flooding, and in the process of the cleanup, I threw my back out. So I have taken a few days off. I am feeling a little bit better, but I am going to have another cup of coffee and then we can go ahead and start sewing for today, as long as my back decides to hold out as much as it can. So I have everything cut out. All I got to do is sew it together and then figure out how to do the ears and also change center front buttons into a zipper because I don't want buttons on a jumpsuit. So let me have another cup of coffee, take a shower, and then we can go ahead and get started for today. So let's go. So I got the pant portion of it put together, other than the middle seam, the crotch seam sewn up. I don't like the fact that there are darts in this, but I'll follow the instructions like they say so. And there is no back pockets on these either. So if I have enough fabric, maybe I'll just top stitch some back pockets on there,
kind of like the ones that are supposed to go on the chest. But let me follow the instructions first, and then we'll decide if I can or cannot to be able to make some pockets for the back. So that's what I've got so far. Okay, here is an update. Upper part is put together other than the side seams and the sleeves. Center back is done. Trousers or the lower half is put together completely except for a hem. I gotta join the two together after I put the sleeves on, because the instructions say to put the sleeve on and then finish the side seam along with the underarm, and then attach to the waistband, and then we get to have this fun part of trying to figure out this center placket, because it's a fold situation and I need to reverse said thing so that it's the opposite direction from a woman's cut to turn it into a men's cut, because this is, again, was not a universal pattern but more of just a regular woman's jumpsuit. It was a free pattern, so I can't complain too much. I just wish Mood had instructions on how to flip it. So I'm just going to do the mirror image of it, since it's pretty much the same thing. And I ran out of fabric to do back pockets, so it's just going to have the top pockets on the front. Also, it says that there's supposed to be a flap here, but there's no pattern piece in this pattern for a flap. So I'm leaving the flaps off. So this is what I got so far. I gotta go ahead and then put the sleeves on and see if there needs any gathering, because on here it does not say gather. So I'm just gonna have to ease them in, figure that part out. So wish me luck. So after I constructed the waistband, I tried it on to see the fit. It is gonna have to come in a little bit on the back, but that's gonna help with those little darts that get sewn on with buttons. But as what we got standing is right here, pockets. And I'm just gonna go ahead and look through my patterning books to see how to put in the center front zipper on this, and then maybe try sizing it one more time. So instead of going out buying new buttons, I'm just gonna spray paint these two. They're gonna go on the dark purple anyways. Nobody's gonna notice it, and they're gonna be in the back. So instead of buying new buttons, I'm just gonna spray paint them since they didn't die.
Good morning! So it's another day. Hopefully I can go ahead and finish up this costume and start to do the reveal. So I gotta do the ears. The costume is done. And yeah, pretty much all I got to do is make the ears for Gadget and then go ahead and shoot the reveal. So first things first is another cup of coffee, and then we can go ahead and put everything together. So let's go ahead and get started for today, okay?
It's a little dark because we have a storm right now, but here's the costume so far. The little tail and everything has been put in. I have a scarf that it's held on to. The zipper is in, and then there is a buttonhole back there where the tail sticks out. The goggles themselves are done. I've just painted the goggles, and on the back side of this, you can see here's the tail. So all I gotta do is make the ears, and then I can go ahead and shoot the reveal.
So let's go ahead and start off with trying to find the pattern. This is my quote-unquote pattern Bible. So everything that has to do with furries is in this one. I know I always keep my pattern pieces in, well, if they're single pattern pieces, I always keep them in the very front. So here is the mouse ear that I had done a couple years ago. Yeah, 2020. And all my other patterns that I've developed are in here. Well, not all of them, but some of them. And then the ones I've paid for off of Etsy or off of, most of them are from Etsy. So good idea to keep a binder of just your costume pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the fur from this hat that I got at Be Thrifty for $3.99, and I'm going to use this headband that I also got at Be Thrifty, and we'll go ahead and get this started. A scalpel or an X-Acto blade to cut, because that'll also reduce the fuzz. I need to change the blade on this one. I need to cut out cardboard. Left. Right. Glue down over the edge. Left, glue down over the edge. Okay, now need a piece of pink. I only need enough of this to make one of these, or two of these. Okay, that's gonna get glued to that. That's going to get glued to that. Those are going to be glued over the top. Okay, so we'll let that cool completely, and I'll show you the reveal.
Sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks, but these two dumb shoes are picking up the slack. There's no case too big, no case too small. When you need help, just call Chip and Dale. Rescue Rangers, Chip and Dale. When there's danger, they know it never fails. Once they're involved, somehow whatever's wrong gets solved. Chip and Dale.
So I hope you did like that reveal. This is the costume. Unfortunately, because it is a jumpsuit, it cannot stand with the stand. So I have it sitting on the chair for right now. So let's go ahead and start the recap. One thing I would change is definitely the collar on this. It is a little bit small, especially for the pattern, what it looks like. I love the way it fits around the torso, but in the arms, it is a little tight. So what I would do is I would go ahead and slash and make it just a little bit bigger so that it would fit my shoulders better. But that's a fit issue from the pattern, but it was a free pattern from Mood, and I do have that down in the description if you want to get that pattern, plus 300 other patterns that are free. I would also make the ears just a wee bit smaller. Again, this was a pattern from a fursuit, and I should have made them just a little bit smaller. But overall, I'm quite happy with this one this week. So, if this is the type of content that you are interested, remember to go ahead and like, share, subscribe. It does help my channel out. And join me again for next week for 13 weeks of Genderween. Juicy!